These Cuban rotations are going to be one of our first opportunities in this program to start working on isolated rotator cuff strength. And from my perspective, a lot of times, regardless of what rotator cuff exercise it is, even if it isn't a Cuban rotation, I feel like a lot of times people don't cue or set the movement up correctly to really isolate the rotator cuff muscles, and they inevitably turn it into too much of an upper back exercise. So what we're going to do for this version in this program, we're going to be sitting here. I'm sitting on a box. I'm too lazy to pull the benches down. You can sit on the edge of a bench. We're going to be sitting because I want us to, what inevitably happens is when we're standing, as we kind of hit our sticking point within the rotation movement, we tend to use our torso to cheat a little too much there, and it can be reduced by sitting. I'm not saying it's not possible, but we can, maybe reduce the amount of cheating by sitting. Second of all, we're using dumbbells as opposed to a barbell because I really want to, for this beginner training program, focus on unilateral deficiencies and let people feel what it feels like to isolate each rotator cuff individually as opposed to using a barbell where it's this fixed center point. So what we're going to do, sitting up nice and tall, holding onto our dumbbells, I like to have people bend their arms so they're at 90 degrees. So up here, my elbow forms a 90-degree angle. From this position, I cue people to pinch their shoulder blades together. And while pinching their shoulder blades together, I want them to imagine their elbow is rotating on a shelf here. So as I'm rotating on the shelf, my elbow stays at this fixed point. Then I come back up. That helps maintain what we could call glenohumeral joint centration, or just having a neutral shoulder joint, as opposed to, if I don't have the cue of this imaginary shelf, what tends to happen is maybe the elbows flare up a little on the way down, and the way back up as we hit our sticking point, we lift the elbow off that shelf, turning it into too much of an upper back exercise. So I found those two cues to be really efficient into kind of neutralizing that shoulder joint and really isolating those rotator cuff muscles. So what a couple good reps are going to look like: elbows bent at 90 degrees, squeezing the shoulder blades together, my elbows are on an imaginary shelf, I go down till my palms are facing the floor, I come back up. Another good rep, go down, palms facing the floor, come back up.